In my courtroom, justice is not only about punishment. Justice is also about compassion. Justice is about understanding the human condition. Justice is about recognizing that behind every case there is a story. On this day, an elderly man entered the courtroom. His steps were slow, his voice was weary, and his eyes carried the weight of years. He was charged with violations that carried fines he could not afford. His pockets were empty, his resources limited, his life marked by struggle. He explained his situation with honesty. He spoke of his fixed income, his medical expenses, his daily hardships. He spoke of the impossibility of paying the fines without sacrificing his basic needs. He spoke not with arrogance, but with humility, not with entitlement, but with sincerity. And as I listened, I understood. Justice is not blind to struggle. Justice is not deaf to hardship. Justice is not indifferent to humanity. The law must be respected. Violations must be addressed. But justice must also be fair, and fairness is not only about equality. Fairness is about compassion. Fairness is about understanding. Fairness is about humanity. To punish this man with crushing fines would not serve justice. It would serve cruelty. To impose penalties he could not pay would not teach responsibility. It would teach despair. To ignore his struggle would not uphold the law. It would betray the very principle of justice. That is why I spoke firmly, but with compassion. That is why I reminded him, and everyone listening, that justice is not only about rules. Justice is about people. Justice is about humanity. Justice is about compassion. To the elderly man, I said this: your struggle is seen. Your hardship is understood. Your dignity is respected. And in this courtroom, justice will defend you, not destroy you. Justice is not about humiliation. It is about truth. Justice is not about cruelty. It is about fairness. Justice is not about favoritism. It is about humanity. Today, the present demanded compassion. Today, the present demanded understanding. Today, the present demanded justice. And justice was served. Justice is not complete until fairness is enforced. Words alone cannot restore dignity. Principles alone cannot protect humanity. Justice requires action, and that action must be compassionate. When the elderly man stood before me, his expectation was simple. He did not ask for privilege. He did not ask for immunity. He did not ask for favoritism. He asked for fairness. He asked for compassion. He asked for justice. I reduced the fines. I dismissed the charges that would have crushed him. I ensured that the law was respected, but humanity was protected. And in that moment, his eyes filled with relief. His shoulders eased. His voice softened. He realized that justice was not his enemy. Justice was his defender. That realization was the true lesson. Not the dismissal, not the reduction, not the relief, but the understanding that justice is not only about punishment. Justice is about compassion. Justice is about humanity. Justice is about fairness. Compassion in the courtroom is not weakness. Compassion in the courtroom is strength. Compassion in the courtroom is the recognition that the law serves people, not the other way around. To the elderly man, I said this: your dignity is intact. Your humanity is respected. Your struggle is understood. And justice will protect you. To the citizens listening, I say this: do not be deceived into thinking justice is only about punishment. Do not be discouraged into believing the law is only about fines. Do not be silenced into thinking compassion has no place in the courtroom. Justice is on your side. Justice is your right. Justice is your protection. To the families listening, I say this. Your trust is sacred. Your safety is paramount. And this courtroom will always defend that trust. No wealth, no privilege, no arrogance will ever outweigh the humanity of your community. Punishment is not the end of the lesson. Compassion is the beginning of healing. When you are shown mercy, when you are given fairness, you are reminded of the dignity of justice. You are reminded that humanity is not forgotten. You are reminded that compassion is the soul of the law. That is the lesson, that is the truth, and that is justice. Justice does not live in cruelty. Justice does not bow to indifference. Justice does not surrender to arrogance. Justice is the foundation of society, and it must remain compassionate, fair, and humane. In this courtroom, the scales of justice are balanced. They do not tip for wealth. They do not tip for privilege. They do not tip for arrogance. They weigh actions, but they also weigh humanity. That is fairness. That is equality. That is justice. The relief granted in this case was not just a dismissal. It was a symbol that compassion belongs in the courtroom, a symbol that fairness is not only about punishment, a symbol that justice is equal for all. But the true lesson was not in the dismissal, it was in the reflection. Reflection is where dignity is restored. Reflection is where humanity is protected. Reflection is where justice transforms from punishment into compassion. To the elderly man, I said this. Your struggle is respected. Your dignity is defended. Your humanity is protected. And justice will always stand with you. To the citizens listening, I say this. Do not be deceived by cruelty. Do not be discouraged by indifference. Do not be silenced by arrogance. Justice is on your side. Justice is your right. Justice is your protection. To the families listening, I say this. Your trust is sacred. Your safety is paramount. And this courtroom will always defend that trust. Compassion will never be absent. Humanity will never be ignored. Justice will never be forgotten. And to society as a whole, I say this. Justice is not about humiliation. It is about dignity. Justice is not about cruelty. It is about compassion. Justice is not about favoritism. It is about fairness. And justice is not about the past. It is about the present. Today, the present demanded compassion. Today, the present demanded understanding. Today, the present demanded justice. And justice was served. Let this case be a reminder that compassion has power, a reminder that humanity has value, a reminder that justice is equal for all. Let this case be a lesson in dignity, a lesson in compassion, a lesson in fairness, and let this case be a legacy of humanity, a legacy of equality, a legacy of justice. Because justice is not just about the law, it is about the soul of society. It is about the trust of families. It is about the dignity of communities. It is about the principle that no one is forgotten. That is the lesson. That is the truth. And that is justice. And with that, this case is closed.